fans view this evening. Kind of a bit echo there, but echo. It's fine. That's it. We are live. It is it is 8 p.m. and on a Wednesday, the 11th of September. Remember, the 11th is the yeah. Anyway, how are we all this evening? I'm going to dive into the comment section before we do anything this evening. Before we dive anything, I have asked a question, and the poll is a subject that we're going to touch on tonight. And the question is: do you trust the VAR officials in Scotland? Do you trust the VAR officials in Scotland? And there have been 17 votes already, 18 votes, 95% say not a chance, and 5% say 95, 96. It's just changing all the time. 23 votes, 27 votes. It is. That is the poll for this evening. Do you trust the VAR officials in Scotland? And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first of all, as we always do on this channel, we jump into the comment section so I can see who's been on speaking already. Tam Max in the house. Kaiser was first up. Kaiser is in Salou. Fantastic play. I'm even with my hat on. I should just keep it off, innit? I should just keep it off. Baz is doing a Clement there. Baz Clement. Yeah, Clementine stole the fucking show. Anyway, that's just how lazy I've been tonight. Right. Anyway, and going for a Clementine. Yeah, so let's get back into the comments. Shameless, reckless, succulent lamb behaviour as usual. Succulent lamb, we'll all remember that from 2012. 2012, when there was quite a few officials with succulent lamb. Tamax sitting watching the 68-69 European match between Celtic and St Etienne. The second leg, it was 4-0. First leg, we got beat 2-0. Even Baz says Desmond Donnelly. Tam is wearing no white kit, St Etienne. Yep, that's right. And Nicola says, I'm going 5.0 to the boys on Saturday. You're going 5-0 to the boys on Saturday. Nicola's getting our score in early. We're not even talking about the game this weekend yet. We'll do that tomorrow night. We will talk about the game tomorrow night for the weekend. We always do our predictions on a Thursday night. Joseph says hail to Stephen Johnston, and Desmond Donnelly says hail to Baz. What a team, by the way! That back in the day with that white collar top and cuffs, a brilliant team. A lot of people talking about the game. We're not even going to talk about that tonight. We've got too much to talk about before we talk about the game. Willie Collin was on Super Scoreboard earlier. Anyone catch him? No, I didn't actually, because I was out having some food. James Clark's in the house, Liam's in the house, Dave Hislop's in the house, Joseph Davis in the house. Does anyone think that Kyogo go on side and they draw the line from the Hun's shoulder in the knee? It looks the furthest point of the grass line. Well, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. I can see a gubbin getting dished out on Saturday. Yes, so can I also. And yes, if I've missed your comments, it's because I'm jumping right to the beginning. Stephen Johnson's in the house. John is in the house saying, evening troops. The weather forecast for Bulgaria next week is horrendous. The wife want to cancel the holiday. A bit severe. John, that is a bit severe. That is a bit severe. But anyway, Des Donnelly watched it. What a farce it was. Just seen Colin on Super Scoreboard taking questions on VAR and referees. It's interesting that he was taking, and opinionated Glaswegian says that he was deflecting like mad. Now, we're going to have our say, because obviously there was a goal in a certain game that was ruled offside. That was ruled offside, and it was a ridiculous decision, because Kyogo it was the arm of the winger, remember, against Sevco. So it'll be interesting to see what they say against that, because I mean, if you're going to go down the road of getting the hair of an elbow is an offside, it's there's something far wrong with the game, considering there's been penalties that haven't been given that should have been given, And is it going to be a worse farce than it was last season? VR Review is a brand new monthly show, and it gives Scottish football fans behind the scene at some of the big decisions. Fuck off. It took me fucking all of how long have we been on? Took me all of 4 minutes to use the F word. No apologies needed, but I don't believe a single word that those zombies say. I don't believe a single word, not at all. I grew up in a time where you knew that. Look, we've all watched. The majority of Celtic fans will have known of Paul Larkin's documentary, Anyone But Celtic. Now, Paul Larkin went and interviewed ex-players, ex-referees, and all sorts to talk about the Lanarkshire Referee Association. That's right, the Lanarkshire Referee Association. And that's where the headquarters of the Referee Association is for Scottish football. And it's headed by the one and only Dallas. Yes. And it's amazing how someone's son doesn't have to come up through the ranks of Scottish referees. And because he's a member of a certain lodge, Andrew Dallas walks into being a top referee in Scotland. He then goes on to become the only full time VAR official in Scotland. Yes, it's almost as if it's paid by the lodge, but we're expected to sit down, shut up, and not say a word about it. And meanwhile, across the road, across the city, they believe that their Masonic referees are no longer part of the Masonic lodge system, and they believe that that the referees are against them for years, for absolute years. They called Celtic fans paranoid. They called us all paranoid. It's paranoia. The paranoia ripping out those Fenian bastards. Yep, and they still say that to this day. And now it's corruption. Now it's corruption because they believe that VAR is against them. Well, it's been shown that VAR is not against them, and it's pretty much with them. So that made me think about the question for this evening, and we've had 101 votes already. We're going to run this for pretty much the full hour. So do you trust the VAR officials in Scotland? 93% say no, and 7% say yes. Amazing that. But we are a club open to all. So the Masonic Protestants that are amongst our midst this evening and voting, it's okay. It's okay. We're a club open to all. You can believe anything they say is 100. You can't believe anything. Paul Baird says you can't believe anything they say 100%. That's true. Zombie Apocalypse 2012 said the old offside rule required daylight between the players. No daylight, then it is inside. Yeah, true. Your spoon buzz. Yeah, I know. Spot on. Um, can I have my coin back? Andrew Dallas was the perfect. It was a prefect in my school, and he got bammed up rotten. I bet he did. The true documentary and great, says Joseph. Yes, it was that. It was a fantastic documentary, and Paul Larkin is working on some new material. Some new material. Their agenda must remain intact. Fairness is out the window because of their bigotry. I don't think there is as obvious. Well, it only takes to last season. Look back to last season. Now, here's one that is quite recent. Think back to last season when Kilmarnock beat Celtic in the League Cup. And then look at the handshake of Derek McInnes and the referees after the game. And yes, it was that handshake. It was that handshake. And look, it doesn't matter if they are what they are. You know, they are Protestants. I don't care about it. They're entitled to do their Masonic handshake, but when it's as blatantly obvious as the cheating that has been going on in Scottish football, and Rangers will say, "Oh, but it's all the cheating's all against us. The big fish must be open. The referees are fucking they're Athenians. The referees are Athenians." Anyway, there is an intention to provide a unique insight to the use of VAR and referee audio 3 weeks after the fucking incident so that they can't go back and change anything. We got it wrong. And it was a thing called, yeah. the little honest mistake scenario, wasn't it? It was an honest mistake scenario, and it is, we're human and we make mistakes. Well, that's why there's two yous. That's why there's two people in the VAR studio. That's why it takes around about 6 minutes for any decision to be made in Scotland, because they have to get their lines right, and they're sitting with their crayons and they're going, I can't draw a straight line, mate. Oh, it's all right. It's no penalty, Sherlock. It's no penalty, Sherlock, man. It's all right. How do you know? "Oh, I've just been fucking wait a minute. I'll check. What's the number for Lark Hall Lodge again, man? Oh, I've got it. All right. Tom. The cell again. The cell again. No penalty. Okay, no penalty. Told you it was. There's no penalty. There's no penalty. No penalty. Oh, man. Meanwhile, in Edinburgh, the Begbie fucking the Begbie slammers get thrown out of the fucking balcony in the complete rage in the pubs. Anyway, Celtic should have been awarded a penalty on the first day of the season when Kyogo, yes, remember that, the first game of the season, when Kyogo was taken out, completely taken out by the goalkeeper. And it was ruled offside. But Kyogo was slam dunked. There's no other words to put it. Do you know, if it was wrestling, you'd be like, fucking what a move, man. But the keeper, I mean, the keeper goes through Kyogo, and I mean, it's like any other. I know it's a contact sport, but Kyogo takes the ball down, and the keeper doesn't even look at the ball. He's got one intention, and that's to take Kyogo out. It should have been a penalty. We all said it should have been a penalty at the time, but it wasn't even looked at. It wasn't even looked at by VAR at that game. Anyway, it's not surprising that it wasn't a penalty. It's the most controversial decision of the season so far concerning Celtic. And let's just hope that the one where, I think, was it Kuhn that was given the offside elbow? It was Kuhn, wasn't it, against the zombies, the Huns? He was given the offside elbow. And if that's what the road that you're going to go down, something really needs to be looked at Scottish football. Anyway, let's jump back into the comments section this evening. Scotty Boy says, "Evening, Baz. You could have took Fife's weather back with you. I hope you enjoyed the surprise when you're home and seeing friends and family." Yeah, it was cracking, mate. Scotty Boy, it was absolutely cracking. It was even funnier seeing my dad's face when we walked into Costa Coffee, and then when we went into the restaurant to see my mum at tea time. It was funny. And my dad greeted me the only way that a father could greet his son, and especially my old man. And he used the F word, big style. And Spacey says, "Hey, Will Baz and Stephen Johnston. Pinuit Glasgow is laughing. Lorna Gallagher's in the house. Hey, everyone. Hope you're in a good mood. I'm in a fantastic mood. I even forgot to put my hat on before we started the live tonight, so I looked a bit like the Rangers manager. Anyway, Stephen Johnston, it's roasting here. Kaiser is in the house saying, Web. Stephen Johnston's getting a lot of love from everyone as usual. Tam Matt's pissing himself. Sean says, hi. Desmond Donovan says, remember Tina Wharton. Nope, I have no idea what he's talking about. John says you're showing your age there. Fucking who's B? I should just miss it in the comments half the time. I should just miss it in the comments. Anyway, Chris Boyd. Chris Boyd and the one and only roasting. Oh my God. Anyway, Brendan Rodgers. Can Brendan Rodgers, here's a question for you. Even though we've got the poll running and there's been 153 people on the poll so far, there's been 210 people on the live right at this exact minute. There's been 414 on so far. The question tonight is, do you trust the VAR officials in Scotland? 92% say no and 8% say yes. Jesus. There we go. Apologies, 3 weeks late, but doesn't bringing back a heart attack with anger the wrong decision. What? I have no idea what you're on about, Robert. It's too hot for there, but it fucking is too hot for here, man. That's why I shaved today. And there's nothing better than getting back and just giving that, just honestly, full face and heat shave twice. It's the best way to go, man. Hair's way overrated. Just sweat your ass off and it all sticks to you and all sorts. I mean, I'm sweating here right now. That's why I'm sitting and drinking a half pint of water, diluting. No, it's not. It's that mineral stuff. Anyway, Desmond says, Tina Wharton, old Hunt referee from before my time. My dad and my brothers made sure they knew about him. Now, there you go. 8% must be Huns. Baz Valley under that hat, yep. I think there'll need to come a time where I do stop wearing it because it's just like it's fucking roasting, man. It is boiling. Anyway, 93%. The poll is changing. Like, let's get on to Chris Boyd. Chris Boyd and the one and only Chris Sutton have been talking about who they predict, and it always happens. It always happens, and we should really do it on this channel. It's like, where do you think people will finish in the league? Who do you think will finish first, second, third, all the way down to 12th? And we'll know what I hope and pray. I mean, I hope and pray that the current status quo is kept in position when it comes to the regards to the table. Kilmarnock are sitting on 1 point on a minus nine -9 goal difference. Hearts are sitting on 1 point on a -5 goal difference. I want Hearts to be sitting on at least -9 come Saturday evening. I want Celtic to put an absolute bucket load of goals past them this weekend and really make them suffer. Because I really, really, do you know what? I'd be on the verge of doing a Kevin Keegan moment. A Kevin Keegan moment saying, I really, really, really love it if Kilmarnock and Hearts got put down. Because I think that there would be a sudden change to the system. I think there would be a sudden change to the the, how many teams were in the league if Kilmarnock and Heart of Midlothian were to go down this season. Anyway, Baz, read Kaiser's comments. Where is Kaiser? Yeah, I go back up. Kaiser, Lorna, tell that lollipop to read my comments. I need to scan back up, man. Where's your comments, Kaiser? Kaiser, you need to tag me in the comments and then it'll flash up. John Kaiser Webb? Webb? You've said Webb. Webb? Is it past the Webb one? Oh, you're going to need to type it again, Kaiser. Tell that one. Tag me in the comment and then it'll flash up on the screen. Nah, still can't see it. Kaiser, I'm going to scroll right back up. Wait a minute. I read the one where pack your clothes in a suitcase of Buckfast. I read the one where you were in Salou, and I said it was a fantastic place. Um, Imagine making me flick through the comments on this live. This is why you need. I only seen that one. Kaiser, you legend. Right, I see that one. It's because your name's in white. You really need to become a member, Kaiser, so your name comes up in green. Nah, 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 nah. Kaiser, chat, shut up till Baz answers me low. Meet up for the Diet Bastards game. I'm in Salou with my, with my jugs out. Kaiser, that's about a 5 hour trip for me. It's not as if it's just up the road. In fact, I'll tell you exactly how long it is right now. You made me go all the way back just to check that out. Ah, Jesus. For me to get to Salou, right? Um, you're talking a 4 hour and 20-minute drive. It's not as if I'm just down the road. I love it when folk come to Spain and say, "Go to come and see me." Where are you? 5.5 hours away. Ah, no bother. No bother. I would just jump in the motor and fucking do an 8 hour round trip. You madman. Oh Jesus! Right, I'm sorry if I've jumped through your calls. I think he was asking you to meet up when he's in Salou. Yeah. Um, Because Dave has looked like guys have become a member, and that way he's no he's I could see his comments. As well, meet up, Mad Baz. Oh, meet up. You and me, Baz. Fucking would be a member, but I'm poor. How do you become a member, Troops? John, you click on the link that is in the description of the video, and then that way I could see your comments kind of a bit more when you are a member. Let me just go to get the link. And plus, you get the morning videos. I tend to put the morning videos out about 20 minutes earlier to channel subscribe to members, so they do see they see the videos first. So just there you go, John, just for you, Baz. Uh, we need pictures. Hashtag Kaiser. You and me, Baz. I'm a poor. John says that. James the boy would be quicker meeting in Glasgow. Yes, it would be quicker to meet in Glasgow if I could just fly in quicker. I could fly up and then I've got an hour and wait in the airport. Anyway, 5 months, John. There you go. Baz. I'm from. Thanks, supporter, and never finished it off. I'm in your neck of the woods in 2 weeks. May try the hoops bar in Guardamar, as I've never been. Stuart, message me. I'll speak to you in the members bit. Because I'm going down to. If I'm not at hoops bar, I might be at Paddy's Point. I need to go down to Paddy's Point this weekend. But 2 weeks time. Who do we play in 2 weeks time? Can't even remember. But yeah, give me a shout, Stuart, and I'll see which pub I'm at. It'll either be Hoops Bar or Paddy's Point. But then again, yeah, it could be that. Become a member, cheapest chips. Halfway, meet you halfway, Kaiser. Move your wallop or get a bus. Get a bus. Anyway, let's get back to the main event and what we were talking about. And that is the fact that Chris Boyd and Chris Sutton have given their views on how they think that their teams will perform this season. We all heard Chris Boyd saying on television, I take pity on my wife this evening after his team got beaten by Celtic. An utterly ridiculous comment. I thought that would be made by any Rangers supporter, especially when we know and what crime rate goes up after the Rangers are beaten. The Seth Conans are beaten. But anyway, the meltdown legend that is Chris Boyd and the Celtic icon that is Chris Sutton have given their views on how they think that the 24-25 season will finish on a Sky Sports interview. They both think that their teams will do better. They both believe that Celtic will finish top of the league. That was one thing that said. Boyd even mentioned that he'd been impressed by the way that Celtic had started the season with Celtic's earlier performances. But Chris Sutton still says that Celtic are the team to beat in the league and Celtic are the top dogs in Scotland, and they are that. And all the players even believe that we are the biggest team in Scotland. We're not quite as enthusiastic when it comes to that other side as Boyd is, and he does get quite a bit upset. It's going to be a tough season for them, says Chris Sutton. Meantime, Chris Boyd is pointing at a messy transfer window. Yeah. Chris Boyd said that he'd been impressed, and it takes a lot for him to say that, especially sitting next to big Chris Sutton. And big Chris Sutton, as we know, likes to wind Boyd up all the time because they share a car. I want Chris. I want Sutton. Right. Even I want Sutton. Baz, where's the best place to holiday in Spain? Says Dave. If you want a totally Irish type holiday, either Santa Ponza or Cabo Roig. And I would probably go with Santa Ponza first and then Cabo Roig second, because it's a massive Irish area, about an hour down the road from about an hour down the road from Alicante Airport. But anyway, there is. I need to get back to the content of the video. Chris Sutton says that domestically, he thinks that Celtic are going to be far too strong, far too fast. And Brendan, in his second season, is getting Celtic back into the swing of things after a couple of years of the Australian manager and a couple of years of Neil Lennon, which we kind of want to forget about. He says that he only hopes that Celtic have the means to cope with the demands of the Scottish League and the Champions League. Hence, why it was important to bring in the brand new players. Brendan's style of coaching is to develop players. Let's just hope that we can develop the players that we have in enough to make them a bit of a force when it comes to the Champions League, even though we won't playing some of the top teams this year. We've managed to miss some of the top teams at the early stage of the Champions League. There are teams that are there to be beaten, but can we do it? When asked how he thinks that the Rangers would do, Meltdown Boyd. Meltdown Boyd says, I knew it was going to be a tough season. We're only 4 games in. God dang it. If it was a boxing match, they would have thrown in the towel by now. 4 games in, and like, nah, sack it, man. Sack it, it's done. Just give them it. Paddy Power done that already, haven't they? Paddy Power have already closed down the odds and has just said we're going to hand Celtic the lead right now. They're going to pay out in the league after 2 weeks. But anyway, Chris Boyd says, I didn't think it would be as tough as this. I didn't think it would be as tough. I still think that that we'll have a little bit more than some of the other teams in the league. And by the other teams in the league, he really means Dundee United, because as it stands, Dundee United are sitting on top of the league, looking down on the Rangers. Even Aberdeen are way in front, massively, huge gap, a massive gap. Rangers need to be asking themselves, have they got the prowess? Have they got the finesse? Have they got the technique? Have they got the quality? Have they got the players? Have they got the manager to slam down the gap, narrow the gap, and make sure that they even get close to Aberdeen? Because as it stands just now, Aberdeen are 12 points on the table, the same as Celtic and Motherwell. And Motherwell are the same points as Rangers. And it's only by 2-goal difference that Rangers sit above Motherwell. And with the game this weekend, the way that they're playing out, I think that Motherwell have got the hardest job of the weekend, because they go away to Aberdeen. And if Aberdeen do win that game, they obviously stretch their league above Rangers before they play on the Saturday. But if Motherwell win it, they go above Rangers. It's even better, isn't it? Just even better. But anyway, we don't really care about that. We need to get back about Chris Boyd and his thoughts on the year. He says, following Sutton, what he said about Clement and Rangers. Clement thinks that Rangers will get better. Big Chris Sutton says, we'll see. We'll see about that one then. Many times have we heard that before. We've heard it all before. We've heard it all before, right? The comments are flying in. Jesus, they're going super fast. Paddy Power paid out in Celtic first game baz, says Paul Baird. Yeah, Chris Boyd finds it tough without his club in snow. Yes, he does, doesn't he? Don't say any more about that. I've been calling him out for it for years. Anyway, there was a question that was asked at the beginning of the video, and it said, do you trust the VAR officials in Scotland? 91% are saying no, and 9% are saying yes. There's been 224 votes, even though there's been 795 people on the live so far, and 272 people are currently on the live. So we could get more votes right now, so make sure that you do vote. Baz, any update on Alistair Johnson? None that I've seen of. He's sneaked back into Scotland, and Celtic are keeping everything under wraps. Celtic are going down this new route in bygone days. Wait a minute. Where is it? I should have had one of my props ready. If you can remember back, one of the biggest selling VHS videos. Yes, at the time, 20 years ago, VHS videos were all the rage. And you could go and buy a VHS video from Celtic. And there was one in particular. It was called the Demolition Derby. Yes, it was a 6-2 game. And you could go and buy that as VHS form. And as we came into the new era of DVDs, you could then go and buy the DVDs, and Celtic would release a DVD every time that the Green Brigade put up a full ground tifo. Yes, any time that Celtic put out a full ground tifo, Celtic would put up pictures and sell the pictures of the tifo, and then they would bring out a DVD of the game. And one comes to mind was the Barcelona game. Yes, it was one of those great DVD moments that Celtic made sure that we all grabbed and got our hands on. But Celtic are changing things. Celtic are doing away with the DVD. Yes, they're putting it to bed. They're making it nil and defunct, a bit like the Rangers. They're they're liquidating the CD, and it's a sad day for the CD, really. Like the tape before it, yes, the tape deck before it that was taken over by the CD. Now the CD has lost out. Yes, and not by an iPod that may think the CD is missing, and the CD. I can't remember 20 years, never mind last week, never mind 20 years ago. And if you can remember all those glorious moments in the history of Celtic over the last 20 odd years, where you would get videos of the game and you would buy the video as merchandise from Celtic, so to make sure that you had it and you could watch back the video at any time. And then when we went to DVDs, it was you could buy the DVD, but now you could rent to buy. You can rent the game. You can rent the game for as long as you want it. Yes, Celtic are going down the paid online route, the same as Amazon. So you could basically sit in your house at night and go, do you know what? I want to watch that 6-2 game. I want to watch the Dumbelly demolition. And then you could click onto your Celtic TV and you can go, there we go, there's Friday night for you. The wife's away out, she's away to the bingo. I've got the tins in, sitting with my big bay slammers, going to get a kebab in, pizza, sit down and sit and watch Celtic on the TV. So you can rent all these previous games. And that's the way that Celtic are going forward. Is it good for the game? Tell you one thing, it's all about get a taxi to the bingo. Oh my goodness. Desmond Donnelly is still using Betamax. Paradise Found. No, Centenary Vid is class. Yes, the French Theatre. How does he manage it? But anyway, yes, Celtic are going down the route of putting all their previous games online. I've got Celtic VHS videos. I've got a load of them. I've got Celtic games that are brought here with the intention of digitizing the videos. Celtic are beating me to it. They're still sitting in a case. Always beat a max. Always beating max. Anyway, best game ever was as a boy with iPox, a 4-4 game. Celtic should realise Chris Boyd DVD, The Meltdowns. I think there's enough of that on YouTube. Never mind Celtic releasing it. You can get most of them tapes on YouTube. Yeah, you can get most of the tapes on YouTube, but I think that Celtic will have digitised the quality. Celtic will have made sure that the quality is up to modern standards, and you're going to be able to rent programmes from Celtic sitting in the house. So instead of Netflix at chill with them, it's going to be like that. All right, hen, what's happening tonight? What's happening? Netflix and chill. And you sit back and you're like, I'm hitting the remote control tonight, darling. Hey, boom, on with Celtic TV. And she's like, what the is this pish? It's a Friday night. Anyway, can't beat it. 6-2 games, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I have loads of videos as well, says Paul. Yeah, exactly. Chris Boyd Meltdowns is now on Laserdisc. 6 days game was a treat. It was the best. Yes, it was. I can remember having a barbecue after that game because it was an early kickoff. When does the new Celtic TV documentary start on TV? I'm not sure, but Celtic will make an announcement about it coming soon. They have given us an indication of what is coming from Celtic. And you've got to remember, I have spoken about this before, this all comes due to the fact that Celtic employed a guy who was head of Apple in London. He was head of Apple in London, and he's been brought in to take Celtic into this new era of digitalised watching of old games and specialist programs. So it's going to be interesting. So there'll be less and less good quality content for free on YouTube. They will put out there will be a certain amount of content that will still go out for free on YouTube. But what they will do is they'll cut interviews short, and this is the way that I see Celtic going. Don't worry about anyone else, but I see Celtic doing. They'll do one type of interview with Brendan Rodgers after the game that will go out on Sky Television and Celtic TV. But then they'll put an in-depth one. There might be an in-depth one with Brendan Rodgers. There might be an in-depth one with the coaches. And if I was Celtic, this is the way that I would do it. You would have in-depth interviews with all the coaches after the game to talk about stats, to talk about the ins and outs and players and formations and everything that the players played during the game, and give an insight into why they made players changes at certain points, why they brought a certain player off. Rather than have the manager talk about that, you're going to have the coaches, and that gives them more content to create for the Celtic TV. Not that I'm telling them to do it because I want as much free content as possible. Anyway, let's get back into the fact that Celtic are top of the league on 12 points. Is there any other Celtic news kicking around tonight? Because we have been on. John Hartson impressed with some signings, Bill's message to teammates. There's not a lot of other stuff going around tonight. It will ramp up tomorrow with the fact that tomorrow is Thursday. Yes, tomorrow is Thursday, and we'll start getting some information out about the boys back at Lennoxtown and getting ready for the game this weekend. Is Kaiser still the madman? Just pop up to Salou, mate. Jesus, on you go. Anyway, I'm going to stop the poll. We're sitting at 252 votes. We've had 943 people on the live this evening. 295 are currently online. Going to stop the poll. Right, I'm going to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you want to vote, vote now. If not, forever hold your wish. 523 votes. Do you trust the VAR officials in Scotland? 90, 89%. Jesus, it changed at the last minute. 89% said no and 10% said yes. Why has the no's lost the 1% tonight? And that was 253 people. The reason that I asked that is because the referees have came out and said that, look, the Kyogo game at the beginning of the season, the VAR are doing a monthly show of behind the scenes, the Scottish FA said. The Scottish FA put out on their Twitter today. It says, introducing the VAR review, a new monthly show of behind the scenes insight into the big decisions across Scottish football. Complete with match day audio, we look at the decisions from the previous month, whether they were right or whether they were wrong. You can't even make it up, man. You can't give them a brass neck with a blowtorch, man. 10% are in Castor. The 10% are looking on bags. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, 10% are barred from other media sources. Anyway, 54 subs bars to go. We are sitting on a glorious number of 18,834 subs. We are trying to get to 1888. And really, the big number this year is going to be 20,000. We're trying to get to the 20,000. I've said before, no Celtic. I don't think that any Celtic related YouTube channel would hit that big 100,000. I just don't think that there is the reach and the type of content and watching Scottish football and Celtic. I don't think they have the international fan base to be able to do that. Unfortunately, not as big as some of the English channels down south. And it just comes to population. It is just pure population. But anyway, it is what it is. And I thank everyone that has subscribed and got us to that number. It's a fantastic number. So make sure that you do subscribe if you haven't already. Big shout out to Who Really Cares. Big shout out to Desmond Donnelly. Big shout out to David Hislop. On Baz, take the half. Now I'll take it off once I get off. It's fucking boiling again. Big shout out to Desmond Donnelly, said you. And Tam Mack, Who Really Cares. Stuart Carey and Paul. Big shout out to Paul as well. And yeah, that's about all that's on from the membership this evening. Ronaldo is nearly on 1 billion subs. Get it for that was, yeah, exactly. And did you enjoy the boxing? Yes, plunge. I thoroughly enjoyed the boxing. It was good to be home. It's too long, but it was good to be home. I'd rather just fly in and fly out, to be honest. But yeah, it was good. It was a good night. My brother always puts on a fantastic night. Hats off to him because it takes months and months to organise these fight nights, and people don't realise what goes on in the background. And the money that he's got to pay out to organise these nights, and then you've got fighters that pull out at the last minute when you've paid for their flights and their accommodation and everything. But yeah, Baz is sweating like Kaiser at a lesbian wedding. The difference with your channel, you keep the Huns out. I try to. I try to. We try as much, and that's why we have so many people with the spanners. Well, there's only really three: Lorna, Paul Beard, Tam Mac, are the main ones that help keep them out. And a big thank you to the three of you for keeping the channel the way it is, and letting me just get on with talking nonsense and keeping the chat going as much as we can, because without you guys I can't really do this channel. So thank you, seriously, thank you for all the work that you've put in as moderators for the channel, and a big shout out to the one and only Stephen Johnston. So anyway, it's come to that time of night. We've been on for 40 minutes. We are sitting with a nice little number of subs, and there's only one thing left to say. Have a fantastic evening to all.